Comedian Bill Cosby is out on bail this New Year's Eve after his arraignment yesterday on sex assault charges. It stems back from an incident in 2004. But since then, dozens of women have come out accusing the entertainment legend of assault in a very similar way. Esther Panich is a criminal defense attorney. David Di Pietro is a former prosecutor. David, first to you, Mr. Cosby admits that he had a sexual relationship with this woman. He admits that he at one point gave her these drugs that are akin to a date rape drug. Is this as open and shut of a case as it appears to the general public?
Absolutely. What Dr. Huxtable never gave us a lesson on back when I was a kid watching the Cosby Show, that loose lips sink ships. He's completely admitted to this entire event. He admitted to the victim's mother, he admitted to the police, and he admitted in deposition, which was released in 2015, about the entire incident. There's not much in dispute. We know that the victim was at his home. We know that the victim was provided pills. And we also learned in the deposition that Bill Cosby gave Quaalude pills to other female partners that he had, and how he would pursue them and give them Quaaludes, and he wouldn't take the Quaaludes himself. The only thing really at issue is whether it was consensual or not. And looking at the facts of the case and looking at the credibility based upon what has already been provided, there's no doubt. And you give me a jury of 12 people, and I'll prove that there's no doubt that this sexual event was not consensual and that Bill Cosby is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Esther, to that point, once a woman has been given these drugs, Quaaludes is their call, but essentially they knock you out, render you semi-conscious here. The victim herself said she was going in and out of consciousness. Is it possible for an event like this to be consensual?
Well, certainly it's possible if both parties willingly take drugs and then engage in sexual contact. That certainly can be consensual. I think that this is not as a slam dunk. There are issues of doubt. For example, why did she wait months to report it? That's something that, just like in any rape case, those are legitimate questions to ask. What took her so long to report if she immediately knew that she had been drugged and taken advantage of? Additionally, the DA themselves refused to prosecute for the last 12 years. The question in my mind will be why. I would want to see the DA's notes to find what exculpatory evidence there could have been in the DA's file, which would show either that the DA didn't believe the alleged victim, or that they decided that they had other evidence which would exonerate Cosby. That's called Brady information, and the defense is entitled to that.
That could all come out in discovery.
This is not easy.
Indeed it will. But to that point of why now, take a look at the cover of the New York Daily News. A case of he said, she said, she said, she said, she said. 50 different women or thereabouts have come forward accusing Bill Cosby of essentially the same case. The same fact pattern. David, does the prosecutor get to bring in those women and say, hey, look, this isn't a one-time occurrence. If you want credibility, just listen to all these other people?
Exactly, and that's what makes this case different than other criminal cases. And sexual assault cases throughout many of the states and our federal law allows prior bad acts as a modus operandi to come into evidence. So if this was a standard protocol, so to speak, for Bill Cosby to bring women into his home or into a private setting, to drug them and to have non-consensual sex, but you can't consent to sex if you're drugged and you're not conscious. So if this is his modus operandi, he can't say, oh, this is this one single time this happened. The prosecution's going to likely be able to bring in victim after victim after victim to show this is his propensity and this is how he acts and how he obtains his victims.
Yeah, well, and a lawyer for some of his alleged victims said it was like Christmas for him to be charged with these crimes. Esther, David, appreciate your all's insights. Obviously, the new year will bring a lot more information in this case, and we'll bring you back to talk about it. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
All the best.